Hello and welcome to the new Power BI tutorial video, and in this tutorial video I want to show you how you can create a telecom customer analysis dashboard like this, where we have KPIs like total customer, a bifurcation of churn and active customer, what is the churn ratio, tenure, average monthly charges, customer with dependents, right, with the filter like what is the contract type that customer is having. So that way you can deep dive more, like customer with 2-year contract, 1-year contract, 1 month, month-to-month contract, right? Then we have something as a correlation between the average monthly charges and average tenure, where we are showing the churn over here to better understand where the customer are churning more, right? And then we have a filter which is specific to this chart, where we can say, okay, whether the customer have tech support, we can click on yes and it will show the value. If they have no internet service, what is the value? If they have tech support, then what is the value? Finally, the analysis of churn ratio, like this is more like a self-service, where customer can choose or the business user can choose whatever they have as a requirement in terms of doing the analysis for the churn ratio. Here I have expanded that churn ratio. We are looking at from the perspective of whether the device protection is available. If no, then we are then further looking at the customer payment type via the electronic check, and then further analysis the customer has dependents or not, right? But one can basically close this, right, and then produce a completely new analysis that, okay, now this time you want to start with the partner, whether customer is a partner or not. Those who are partner having a 33%, those who are not a partner 33%, but a partner is yes as 19%. Then over here we want to look at, let's say, payment method, right? The next analysis, maybe the next analysis is over here, electronic check with the dependents. That way, you know, we can get the output whatever way we want, and we can change it from here as well. From payment method, let's say we want to change it to a gender, then this is what it is, right? And then we can further expand it by closing it and then saying it, okay, now I want to look at the male who are using the device protection. So this is sort of a self-service where customer have the or the end user have the ability to do whatever they want based on the columns that we have provided. Okay, so that's about what we were going to learn, and this is part of the case study which I have posted it yesterday. That means the previous video, you can look at it, where I have explained about this data set which is related to the customer churn, right? You have the customer ID, gender, senior citizen or not, partner, dependents, so on and so forth. A lot of different columns which is present, like monthly charges, total charges, churn or not, payment method, paperless bill, to finally analyze. So this is more like a data science data set, where you know, we are predicting whether customer is getting churn or not by looking at the various different columns, model this behavior, and then predict if a similar behavior is coming, then the customer will going to churn or not. So this is kind of a data science prediction data set, which if you want to get it, you need to join my group, and the link is present in the description. When you join my group, the sheet is present over here, which will have this data set called Telecom data set. Also, if you want to get an access to my 300 plus videos in a easy to access manner, then this link is also present in the description, which is about a Google Sheet, where I have all of these videos linked over here along with the title and the link, which way you can easily go ahead and access the videos. Okay, coming back to the Power BI, some of the things that you should know is I have the columns already created in the case studies. Like for example, I have the churn customer measure automatically not automatically but manual created using this formula, calculated count telecom customer churn equals to yes, simple filter condition, right? So this is the one formula that I have created. I created a formula of total customer, which is count of customer, and this is simply churn, right? And then I have created a formula for churn ratio, which is nothing but dividing the churn customer by the total customer. Okay, so that way I am basically, these are the three measures, this is which is part of this, and this ratio, the churn customer, active customer, is all basically a part of the different formulas or the different settings that I have got. But churn ratio is directly coming over from here. Okay, and then I have used some of these icons which you can get it from any website. Like you can search in Google like the icon and get similar type of icon. Now this can be specific to the business, but I have used some sample icons over here. But in this case I have created in the PowerPoint like this, right? I have this outer box, then the inner circle, and then the dollar. Similarly, outer box, then the inner circle, and then the text, right? And then what I can do is I can simply right click and save it as picture. So that way I have a flexibility of I can create my own measure, right? By using this in the insert, in the shapes, I have the way of this rectangle and circle is what I have taken. Rectangle is the outer shape, if you will see, outer shape. Circle is the inner shape, right? And then the appropriate colors which is needed for the business. Then this one is also coming from the what do you call, picture and the stock images, right? Where you can search like tower, for example, TOWER in the icon, and then you get a similar type of icon. Once you get this icon, then you can format it, right? You can click over here and you can get it whatever format you want, right? Like I am able to do it and I got it with this color. So that is what it is going on inside this particular space. So to start with that, let's do this. So what I will do is I will show you these two basically KPIs, and then you can create rest of the KPIs as an exercise. Then I will show you how you can create these two charts, right? That way you can follow it along with me and create this exercise and have an exercise as well. Okay, so first thing first is the KPI, which is the card over here, right? And what we need is basically total customer. So for total customer, I can click it over here, which is nothing but this total customers, right? And I can move it up like this, and maybe till here 7043. What I am doing is I am not using these labels which is down below, but I am using in the general the title, and what I'm saying is total customers, right? And I am going down below and saying centrally aligned. All right, so that way I have this total customers, right? Now I can copy and paste this one more time, because from this total customer I will enable the filter. What I need is the churn to be added over here, and I say yes, that means it is a churn customer. In this case I will use this category label, but then I will double click over here and I will say churn over here, and I remove the title from the top for the second one. Okay, and also I will reduce the value for this because it is more like a subtext or a sub KPI. So this will probably will go around 20 or maybe 25 for that matter. Okay, so this should be good. I will reduce it, copy and paste. Right, let's see this, copy and paste outside. Okay, and in this case I will say no, yeah, and uncheck the yes, and this will become your active customer, right? So this is a small setting which we can do because we know that this is how it will be presented. Now the only one more thing which I will do is over here general, and in the title I have the effects. The background color is if I remove it, still the same. Transparency, maybe I will use 25%, or rather than transparency, what I can probably do is set it to slightly lighter if it will allow me. Some more lighter effects. No, too much. All right, I think this should be fine, right? Yeah. and then I can use this format painter, put it over here. Oh no, that's not good because this is a smaller icon, so I will have to do it quickly one by one, and then this can be applied to rest of the views. Background, this one, yeah, okay, perfect. So now what I can do is I can copy this, paste it, I can create the second KPI, and what I will do is I will bring it till the here. So total customer, and then what we have is the churn ratio. So what I'll do is I will move this up to churn ratio, which is 26.5%, right? Then what we have is the icon, which I want to bring it for this. For total customer, we don't have icon because there is no space, but over here we will bring in the icon using the insert icon and percentage icon over here, right? And the size I have kept is the width, height and width is 40 and 40. Okay, right, this is up to us what we want, but I will just move it up like this. In this case, if you want, let's say you are feeling like you want to have 50 and 50 so that it is properly visible, you can do it like this, right? And then finally what you will do is you will select this, right click and group, so it will become one. Same with this, select everything, right click and group, so that it will become one object. Okay, so we have done this. Then what we have is basically a title at the top, right, which is Telecom customer dashboard, whatever is the business title that we want to give. I want to keep it 28 if I remember it correctly, what I did it, dash O board, not dashboard. Okay, so we have this that I can let me my mouse, if you will ever allow me. Yeah, okay, perfect. So now I can, yes, perfect, and then I will give some space for the icon. Okay, and then over here I will reduce the space because I will need a filter. So again, for not the properties but the effects, in the effects, and that this color is what I need to give, and then I need image for the tower icon, which is nothing, should be this, perfect. Yep. Then I can reduce it, move it up a little bit, reduce it, yeah, and align it like this, a little bit up, come on, yeah. Okay, so we have this telecom analysis dashboard. If you want, you can give some space like this so that it will look good. Then we have a slicer, which is the overall dashboard slicer, and that is based on the payment method, which is month on month, or what it is, no, not the payment method, internet services, contract, if I remember. Yeah, contract, yes, this is the one. Okay, and what we will do is to convert into a button, we will go into the slicer setting and we will say tile. All right, so we have tile. I'll reduce this and move it up like this, perfect. And what we will do is we will keep it here and we will expand it till here maybe. All right, let's close this, and in general, effects, color, background color, which I want to give it this. Okay, all right, little bit of alignment just to make sure. Yeah, perfect. So we have this. Rest of the 3 KPIs you guys will create it. It's quite straightforward. Average tenure field is present over here. You have to make sure that you are picking up average, not the sum. Same with average monthly charges, which is over here, and the customer with dependents is here. In the filters, the dependent is set to yes. It is similar to how we have done the churn and active yes and no over there. Okay, so after that, what we will going to have is the is the correlation chart. So the chart is going to be based on the visualization, which is nothing but this one, right? A little bit down below, because we need maybe till here, because what we need is two measures. One is the tenure, maybe what we can put it on the x-axis, not the sum, but remember the average, right? And monthly charges, again not the sum but the average. Okay, and then what we will bring is the customer ID over here onto the values, right? It's so big right now, we will format it, and then on the legend we will bring the churn to highlight where is the churn and where is the active customer. Okay, now let's come to the formatting onto the marker, right? -10, maybe -25. Yeah, so you get the correct output. We will put the legend in the middle. So what we will do is legend, and this will be the top center. Usually I like it in the top center so that it is clearly over there. Then what we need is a slicer again. So maybe I'll copy this and paste, copy paste, right? So that I don't have to do that same gymnastic around formatting. So contract, I'll remove the contract, and I'll remove the add the payment method. Not the payment method. What did I do? Let me see. Tech support. Customer who are using tech support. It is an important field. Tech support. All right. So what do we have is the tech support over here. And then I can simply put it over here. But this is where it will not end, right? Over here I'll go. One thing which I will do is I will keep it till like here, and general properties, I will reduce the height till what, 59. Yep, that should be okay. Then what do we have is this. What we will do is in the general we have the effects, and then change the color to this one. Doesn't look good, right? So I'll just keep it like that, maybe darker. Yeah, okay. So we have this. Then what do we need is basically to make sure that this slicer is only working on this particular one. Right now if I click on yes, everything will change. If I click on internet services, everything will change. Click on no, everything will change. But if you want this slicer to impact only this particular visual, then what do we need is simply click over here, go to the format, go to the added interaction, and then click on these none icon. Okay, none, none, none. All right. So now if I click yes, you will, all right, something is changing. So none, yeah, none, yes. What is that? Okay, this one. Okay, anyways, yes. Now only this particular chart is changing, if you will see. Yep. So that is the way, going to format, added interaction, and making sure everything else is none, and this is the only one which is getting impacted. Then finally what we have is the chart, which is nothing but the stream app chart, right, that we can create over here, right? And just make sure that the first field, churn ratio, the analyze field should always be this one, churn ratio, and then you add whatever you want to explain by this one, gender, device protection. You can add as many fields as you want, like this, streaming movies, tech support, as many fields as you want, right? And then we can say okay, fine, I want to understand, let's say, by internet service first. Fiber optic, DSL. Okay, we have higher generation fiber optics. Okay, they have a device protection or not, right? Now we see this, and then we try to understand, okay, these guys have the tech support or not, right? They have the tech support. So this is the kind of analysis, sort of what I call it ad hoc or a self-service kind of analysis that user can do very easily, and that way we can see that we can create a very useful and meaningful dashboard created, right? The only last thing is, in the view I have used this theme, the current theme, which is this one, to make sure that we have the right output present over there. So that's how I have created it, right? This particular dashboard. And only thing what you now need to do is you need to create the rest of these 3 KPIs and your dashboard will be completed. So you let me know if you enjoy this session and learn something new. But based on your input, I will try to bring in more and more new content. So with that, thank you so much. Let me know your feedback in the comments, and I will bring more similar content and better content for you. So thank you so much.